Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. It's very nice to have you here with us in Second Life. I will let you know how you can get involved with the show if you're interested. First, if you want to be in our live studio audience, you need to get on Second Life, which is very easy to do. You just go to secondlife.com, create an avatar, log in, and contact me, Zoltan Mint, and I will get you here to the studio. We are taping this live in the beautiful Florence, which can be found in the search engine. But like I said, I can get you here if you just send an instant message to me. The show is also broadcast live on live stream, at least for now. We may be moving that soon to another website, but for now you can catch it on live stream. And that's every other Wednesday, right around 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can do the math if you live somewhere else other than Eastern Time. And then finally, if you wait a day or two, it will appear on YouTube. And that is the Angry and Ornery channel. Just type in Angry and Ornery in the search engine. You'll find it. You can watch all our past movies as well as this current one. Heavily edited. No, not heavily edited, but edited nonetheless with various graphics and such. Speaking of heavily edited, let's bring out our co-host, Mr. Lionheart. Mr. Lionheart, please.
I always knew you edited me out of the show.
I do. I edit most of your comments out of the show.
Well, I figured you'd just edit me personally out, but...
How you doing? Tried to do that in the past. It doesn't work. I'm fine. And you?
I'm here.
Good. It's a little daunting and maybe a tad bit scary that there are lances up against the wall. Do you see them?
Oh, is that what those are?
Indeed. Our special guest will be talking about that later. But before we bring her out, why don't we have a seat and discuss what's going on in the world of TV and/or movies?
We can do that, hopefully.
Yes. You said you wanted to talk about a movie. Is that true?
I always like talking about movies.
Then you go first.
All right. So I came across a little hidden gem, and I say hidden gem because I had not heard about this film until I rented it and watched it, and you know what? I freaking loved it. There's a little movie that just came out called Cut Bank. That's C-U-T-B-A-N-K, N-T, excuse me, as in Cut Bank, Montana. It's a little film with a heck of a lot of star power. I'm going to give you the list of actors first, and then we'll go from there. It's got John Malkovich, Billy Bob Thornton, Oliver Platt, Bruce Dern, Liam Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth's brother, and Teresa Palmer. Film is about Hemsworth and Palmer are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're out one day in a field, you know, the whole kind of mushy lovers thing, and they're playing around, and he's filming her, and she's trying to do like promo things to be in the next, you know, Miscut Bank contest. And in the background, you see the mailman pull up, played by Bruce Dern, and he gets out to deliver the mail, and somebody shoots him dead. And it's a very interesting little thriller, and it's almost in the vein of Fargo, because you're trying to figure out what exactly is going on, who's doing what, and what everybody's end game is. And man, Malkovich really shined as the role of this little town's sheriff. And, you know, when he's first watching the videotape of, because they have the tape of it, he freaks out. I mean, he goes and he throws up. And it was just really great performances by him and Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, Bruce Dern, good God, the man is older than dirt now, but he did a great job.
So this is a recent film. I didn't catch what
this just came out. Yeah, it just came out.
Direct to DVD or?
You know what? That's just it. It did get thrown up direct on DVD, Blu-ray in this past month. So at the end of April, like I said, I had never heard of it, and you know, with that amount of stars, you would you would have heard something,
right? Because Bruce Dern just came off of a Academy Award nomination.
Yeah, and I mean, for God's sakes, it's got Malkovich and Billy Bob Thornton. So,
right.
I had heard nothing about it, and it's a little thriller. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. You got some really good acting. But the big thing about the film is there's an actor named Michael, and I'm going to really mispronounce his last name, Schallberg. If you remember Men in Black 3, the alien Griffin, the one who could see all the alternate worlds and all the alternate timelines, he's in the film as this very disturbing person named Derby Milton. And it's almost kind of funny because when he first pops up, everybody says, Derby, I thought you were dead. And here he's looking for a piece of mail that was in the mail truck when the mailman died. And that's its own little sick and twisted storyline that's going on. And it's one of those, when you find out that end game, it's going to kind of blow your mind a little bit. I mean, the whole film, kind of keeps you guessing on what's going on. I mean, some things, they're made evident and obvious, but you don't know how it's going to end until it ends. And I highly recommend it. I give it a 4. Strong 4.
Is this a thriller from beginning to end, or is there comedy involved? Or
you know what? In my opinion, there is a little bit of comedy because, I found it funny when Malkovich was watching the tape of the shooting and he jumped when the gunshot went off, and then that he went in the bathroom and threw up. It's kind of more of a dark humor than somebody tripping and falling on ice down a flight of steps. But there's a little humor mix and very, very little. Mostly kind of when Oliver Platt's character shows up as the postal, I guess you could say, inspector or whatever, who is also investigating what happened with the mail and everything.
Oliver Platt is a British actor, right?
No, he's American.
Is he?
Chubby American guy. He was Lake Placid, the original Lake Placid. God, he's been in so much it's not funny. Trying to think.
Character actor then.
Yeah, he's a character actor. He's never really done a lot of big name stuff. He was in X-Men First Class. He was the one who had it was his facility that they first went to when he found out that there was mutants. He's been in a lot. He was in Fargo, the TV series, which is kind of funny. But yeah, not a big name actor, but he's got a good part. He was enjoyably funny. But I definitely recommend you seeing it. And the other thing that's weird is the female lead, Teresa Palmer. She's got this weird thing at first when I was watching, and I thought she was Kirsten Stewart from the Twilight films. It's almost like she's become a Kirsten Stewart clone. I mean, she looks like her, and it's kind of creepy because I can't stand her.
Just as a side note, and I just wanted to mention this, that I saw an extended trailer of Jurassic World, and the redhead that's in it. I forget her name.
Yeah,
I know her
Dallas. Yeah,
Howard.
Ron Howard's daughter.
Right? It's Ron Howard's daughter. But when I saw the trailer, I could have swore that was. I always forget her name. The other redheaded actress that's done hundreds of movies. She was in the second Silence of the Lambs movie.
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Does she not look like Julianne Moore in that film?
They kind of do have that same vibe going. Also, Christina Hendricks from Mad Men. They all kind of have that same redhead, big bosomed thing going.
There you go.
Yep.
Do you need anything more? Yeah. Anyways,
right.
All right. I'll look for that. Well, I'm going again out here on a limb by reviewing something very old. It's an old TV show. Not real old. I mean, in the last 10 years, maybe like 8 years. But I'm rewatching it with my daughter. She had not seen it. She was just a baby when it was out. And we are enjoying it so much that I wanted to talk about it a little bit. And that is the TV series Lost. Now, I have mentioned in the past that I feel that Lost was probably one of my favorite shows, but I was always hesitant to say that because there's a lot of people who Lost became extremely popular, and it was one of the, most talked about shows when it was out. And when things get real popular, people start making fun of them, and people that become fans of that are also being made fun of, I mean, if you say you love Michael Jackson, you're probably going to get some wisecracks, right? So Lost kind of fell into that too. It got so big that people made fun of it. But I liked it. I loved it. And I always put it in my top probably 3 TV shows ever made. And I've gotten people that have given me sideways glances at that statement, but it's true. rewatching it a second time, and I mean really watching it. First time I watched it on TV when it was aired. Now I'm watching it on DVD with no commercial interruptions, and we are binge watching this. In fact, we're on season 3, and I think this is our second or third week. So we're doing like a season a week, which is pretty tight when we have crazy schedules like we do. But anyways, I gotta say, I'm moving this up from probably fourth or third to maybe second, and it's tied. It could be tied with first as the best TV show ever made.
What's the first?
Well, Breaking Bad. As you know, I can't discount Breaking Bad as being probably the best TV show ever made. But oh my God, Lost is brilliant. It's brilliant on every level. What do you look for when you look for a good story on television? Well, you want well-defined characters, right? Isn't that one of the qualities? A well-defined character. You can't say Lost doesn't have the most defined characters in the history of television. The flashbacks that you learn about their characters are so detailed and so apropos and so ironic and so twisted and intertwined with all the other characters that I think it's a story about character. So A+ on the level of character development. You want a good story that's directed well. Well, it's an awesome story, and it's directed by, J.J. Abrams and his crew. Wonderful director, love everything he does. Well, I love almost everything he does, but as a fellow magician, I got to give him some slack. You want good sets. This thing was filmed in Hawaii. I don't think there is too many more beautiful spots in the world than Hawaii.
Nevada.
You want okay. You want consistency. You want story continuity and all that. It's flawless on those levels. And what's brilliant about it is that you watching a story through flashbacks that's taking place in the current future, or what I should say, the possible future, and you don't really care too much about what's going on in that present tense. It's all about, wow, I know what happened to them. And you're watching things that they deliver that make no sense at all. Early on, even in the first few episodes, a polar bear shows up, seemingly completely random on a deserted island, a tropical island. But then you know exactly why there's a polar bear there. You know exactly why things just show up out of nowhere. They trick you. They trick you successfully. And like any good magician, you want to be fooled. And I was fooled even the second time watching this. It just amazes me how things that happen are explained later. It may be 2 or 3 seasons later. In fact, it may even be in the last season when things are finally explained. Now, having said that, I know that a lot of people gave the show flack because of its ending. It had the show finale, and it was very controversial because they thought there should be more. Well, now watching it a second time, I say bullshit to that. The ending is perfect. And the reason why I'm saying that without revealing the ending, because I know there's some of you who have not watched it yet, and you really need to watch it, is because they allude to the ending almost every single episode. In fact, they even show you the ending once in season 1, and I counted at least twice in season 2. They've actually shown you the ending, or they've spoke about the ending. So this isn't something that Abrams just slapped together because the show was ending and he didn't know what to do. He knew exactly what to do. And if you keep all that you've watched in mind, all 6 seasons, I think? All that stuff in mind, then the final ending is apropos, and it is extremely rewarded. So my suggestion to everybody that was like me, maybe a little apprehensive about bragging about this show, watch it a second time. You'll probably consider it the best show you've ever seen. And I do. I mean, it's very even with Breaking Bad with me. So I love it. I would probably watch it a third time, maybe after a break. But seriously, it's a great show. So, it went from 2004 to 2010. So that's a lot of seasons.
But they also took big hiatuses in between, and that was something that they got dinged about, where it would be off the air literally for a little over a year before it came back on. And then they would do an episode or two and then be on break for a month or two. So, yeah.
Well, like I said, look for, in the flashbacks, look for all the little cool things that are there. There are so many hidden Easter eggs and so many planned encounters that are setting you up for things. I mean, just one example is the Hurley character. His flashbacks are so probably one of my favorites. Although Mr. Echo is my favorite character, I think, in the entire show. But Hurley is probably my second, only because his flashbacks are the best. But when they're doing other people's flashbacks, the other characters appear in them. And the best one was when Hurley appeared on the news. He had just won the lottery, and he was on the news, on the TV set, in somebody else's flashback. So there's little things like that. Things on the wall, the numbers, everything just meshes so perfectly together. I can't even begin to understand how people can write this good and this consistent. So it shouldn't even have been on TV. It should have been a big giant movie, because that's what it feels like. Anyways, I love it. I give it a 5. Obviously, I don't give a lot of 5s out, but a 5 right up there with Breaking Bad. So that's my review.
I didn't like it.
How could you possibly not like it?
Because as you scream at me a lot of times, I'm either un-American or stupid. I didn't like it. It's like Breaking Bad. I started watching it and I get bored.
Wow.
I know how it ends.
Then you are definitely stupid. Yeah, you're ignorant.
But here's the thing: is it doesn't. My mind works differently, and you know that. I'm able to watch, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for somebody who hasn't seen a film that's 10 years old. There's a movie called Blood Work with Clint Eastwood. I went and saw opening day, first showing with a group of friends of mine. From the opening credits, that was just showing nothing but black screen and names, I was able to deduce, and I said out loud, what the plot was going to be, who the killer was, and why the killer was doing what he was doing. And you know what? I was absolutely positively right, because that's the way my mind works. All
right, but here's the problem with that theory, and I will shoot a hole through it right now, and it's a cliche, I know, but you don't climb the mountain to get to the top. You climb the mountain for the adventure of climbing it. And that's what Lost is all about. You enjoy every episode as it's happening, even though you can predict what's going to happen, and even though you might have seen it before.
But see,
like
the thing is I didn't
enjoy the ride, dude.
I didn't enjoy it. The only person I liked out of the whole show was Terry O'Quinn playing Locke.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
He was freaking fantastic. But I don't like Matthew Fox. That's another big thing. I can't stand him.
I don't mind Matthew Fox. He actually went on to make a couple of movies, but Josh Holloway is the one that I have a little problem with, who plays Sawyer.
Watching it, Matthew Fox sounds like he's having an asthma attack or he just ran a mile every time he talks. He's very kind of breathing.
Well, the point is that he's working hard there. He's their doctor, and he's the only one that's trying to fix everything.
Okay, he can wake up after an 8-hour sleep and still talk like that. That's what I found annoying. It was like he was ready to hyperventilate at any second.
I didn't get that, but you know what? I know you won't. I know you won't. But if you were to watch a show again and seriously make it a study, and there are college classes that were devoted to trying to figure out what's going on in Lost.
Yeah. So that tells you how our education system.
No, it doesn't, dude. How many other good quality shows have they done that to? Maybe I've heard Lord of the Rings, Breaking Bad, and maybe a handful of others. So, anyways, you know what? Rotten Tomatoes gives it one of their best ratings, and IMDb it's ranking at an 8.5. And you don't need me to tell you it's like one of the best shows.
The only problem with
hundreds of thousands of other people agree with me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I didn't like it. It's my opinion.
You are allowed not to like it, but I do think you're wrong. Okay. One of our audience members says that Sawyer is yummy. Well, he's good looking, but I don't know if I like the character. All right, well, that is enough of that. That is our two reviews. So if you get, this winter, if you have nothing to do, get the whole series of Lost and watch it from beginning to end. You'll love it. And go out or get the DVD that Lionheart has recommended too. Say the name again.
Cut Bank.
Cut Bank.
Bank. Yes.
Okay. Yep. Great. All right, well, let us move on and welcome our guest for tonight. If she will please come out, I will stand up politely. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest, Amza Hydroconus. Wow, I hope I said that right. Hi, Hamza.
Hello. Let's get seated here. Oh, pretty good.
Good. Now,
This chair is not cooperating.
oh, well, you look okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the arm of the chair.
Oh.
Turn off your AO.
Yeah, let's get an AO off. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the AO.
That's a lot of clothing to adjust, isn't it?
Oh, it just flies around as it pleases.
Well, we have to be honest and tell everybody that Amza actually helps us out here at the A&O show. She arranges guests to come in. And what we originally wanted was Amza to be one of our guests. But it's
yes, that's true.
She's well connected and knows so many people that we decided to kind of have her as our guest coordinator. But we didn't want it to get too far into the new season without actually interviewing you, because you are involved with some very interesting things, are you not?
Yes. Just this past February, I was made co-estate manager of Renaissance Island, and just recently of Staccato.
Right. So those that may have watched our last show, you would know that we had a gentleman on who performed in Renaissance Island. So Amza, you as an estate manager there, tell the audience what you do.
Basically, I just manage the estate, follow the covenant that's there, try and get people to come in and rent shops, houses. I also plan events, and right now I just got done planning and finalizing plans for Renaissance Island's 8th anniversary in Second Life.
Wow, 8 years.
Yes, very amazing. I don't know of any other sims that last that long.
Yeah, they really don't. I mean, those of you that may not be aware of Second Life and what goes on, things happen fast here. They generally start up and burn out within, 4 to 6 months. So if you go a year or more, you're doing something really cool or successful. But 8 or 7 or 8, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And we were lucky to even make tier.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people don't realize that either. That just costs money. So.
Oh yes.
Tell us about the island. I mean, is it a historical recreation of a medieval world, or?
Yes. Basically, it was created in 2007 February, so we're celebrating our anniversary a little late. By a group of librarians.
Real life librarians.
Yes, real life librarians.
Mm-hmm.
It was put together as a Tudor-era historical sim, made available to any educators who were teaching that era in music, literature, whatever science was available at that time, as well as stage plays and the culture. So that was its main purpose. But, and we're trying to make it yeah, but, oh, yes. And it has been used for those things. We've had plays, and once in a while we do tours. People come in. Right now our character ride is a little out of date because we made some changes since February when I and another co-estate manager took over to keep it going.
Okay. What is the what is there do you have to join a group or pay some fees or anything to be a part of the island itself?
Well, the only thing we have 2 groups that are tied to the island. One is called the Parish of Reading Primley. Anyone can join that group if they want to know about events in Renaissance Island. The other group is the tenants of Reading Primley, and it's by invitation only, and it's if you rent a shop or house, so that you are able to res your furniture or merchandise.
Did you have an interest in jousting before you found it in Second Life, like perhaps in movies or recreation teams or things like that?
No, not really. I didn't even know it existed in Second Life until I went to Renaissance Island.
Oh, okay.
So I had no idea that it was able to be done. from what I understand. As a matter of fact, I had a lovely conversation with the creator of the first actual scripted Lance in Second Island, Francesco Dupre, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the last name correctly. From what I understand, when he first came in, his res day was in 2007. He had been involved with a role-play group in a sim that was called Second Earth. And they had a lance, but it was not a working lance. It was decoration, primarily. Basically, actually. So he was interested, and there was hardly anything in medieval clothing either, in armor, clothing, and all the other accessories that go with that. So he made his own armor and helmet. He decided he wanted to make a lance that actually worked. There was a person he knew that he was involved with who had the Spellfire combat system, and he had approached him about making a working lance, but he wasn't interested. So he decided to make one himself, and it did take him a while. In real life, he's a programmer and astrophysicist, and so it wasn't difficult for him at all to get the programming language. Right. So the one part he said that was difficult was the way SL rotates objects, and he was surprised to find out that some attachments didn't collide. So it just made things a little complicated, but it took him about a month or so to devise a system that worked and making the animations to move the lance in fight position. And he said even if it worked, he thought the chance of people actually using it was kind of small. But there was another role-play sim called Avalon, or Avalion, I'm not sure I'm reading this right, and he had contacts with the owner there, and he proposed to set up a joust arena with them, and it was his first agreement with a role-play area. So he started making more lances and putting them up for sale, and he's got, while he doesn't have a store here in Inworld, he is on Marketplace. Right. And if you go in there and you just put in his name, Francesco Dupre, and that's Despres, you'll come up with everything he's made on Marketplace. Right. He has several outfits there now where it's a complete outfit. And so except for the horse, you get everything. Helmet, tabard, chainmail, lance, shield, the caparison that goes on the horse, even a cape, and the lance.
I've purchased a great deal from him, so yeah, he's got wonderful stuff.
Yeah, it is. So, one of the things was that there was a woman there that had committed to make a less pretty and cheaper version of the lance because she thought the price of the lance was too high. But when you consider all the work that goes into not only just making the lance, but the scripting and getting that right, so the price is generally worth it. And it's not like it's 10,000 lindens or something,
Right. No,
so
he's a super nice fellow too. I've dealt with him on occasion. He even came over one time to help me do my initial setup. And how many merchants will do that? So yeah,
not too many, really. Very few and far between.
You brought a few lances here.
Yes.
Maybe our camera guy can get a shot of that. But what do you got there?
Okay, on the audience's far left is Francesco's lance. It is Medieval Designs, which is the name of his shop. So it's generally referred to as the MD lance. This was the very first lance made. The bullet, which is what is used to cause the collision against your opponent, is about midpoint in the lance. This lance is not copyable, so if you make the mistake of deleting it, you're out of luck.
Right, right.
And it needs a lance rack to replenish the flat tip after hits. It doesn't.
Does it break?
Yes, they do. They break, and you can see that break. So you know you need to replenish your lance. The second lance
let me interrupt here, but I believe the lances come with the rack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. I think they also come in the complete outfits, but I'm not sure since I don't buy the whole outfits.
Right.
Okay. The second lance next to the MD lance is the Taz or the Armor Saw lance. A lot of jousters like this lance because it can go further than 6 wide, but a lot of the jousting hosts have it in their rules to keep it at 6 instead of going so wide. They think that's more fair since people will use a different lance other than the Taz. The bullet on this lance is on the tip, and it's copyable, and it has a menu in the lance where you can change the colors.
Oh, nice.
It's a very nice lance, and like I said, it's probably one of the more popular lances. After it's hit, you could just touch the lance and you get your tip back.
Oh, cool.
So that makes it pretty neat. The third lance next to that was made by Val Kish. It's not copyable, so again, if you make the mistake of deleting it, you can change the colors on it. While the bullet on there is near the tip, it's not on the tip.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my first lance, and I did pretty well with it.
Cool.
Yeah. The next lance next to it is the KK lance. The KK stands for Cali Knoll. He was the last person to come out with this lance for a very long time. The bullet on this lance is about midpoint, and it's copyable, and you can change the colors on it. You just touch it to put it into position, and it also not only and touch it again after a hit to replenish the tip.
Oh, cool.
Right. Now, since then, 2 more lances have come out. The 5th one that came out just recently this year, I think, or very late last year, can unhorse you when you are hit. You have to have the RLV turned on, though, in order for this to work.
Oh, yeah.
And that requires a restart after you tick it in your preferences.
Mm-hmm.
The 6th lance that came out real recently, and the creator of this lance had worked 2 years on it.
Wow.
From what I understand, I had seen a demonstration of this lance. It doesn't unhorse yet, but the system he devised is definitely different from any other system I have ever seen. It comes with a couple of banners. While you have to join a joust board to compete,
mm-hmm.
you have to touch these banners to show your scoring and your accuracy when the lance strikes another person.
I see.
So, like I say, it's brand new, so it's not quite out for sale yet, but the demonstration I had seen was quite impressive.
Let me back up here, and I do see we're running out of time here. We're going over, so that's all right. We can go over a little bit. The fact is, people out there may not know even how to be involved or what goes on, but basically, you purchase yourself a lance. You purchase yourself, although not necessarily critical to it, you need an outfit or some armor. And,
mm-hmm.
of course, you need a horse, which you can purchase
yes.
all over Second Life as well.
Right.
Rideable horses that will move on, as you control
Rideable's
them.
the big thing.
Right.
Yeah,
there are
there's
fake
some
ones that you
horses-
can't ride.
Well, there's fake ones you can ride, but it's not the way you want it to go.
Right. So once you have the setup, you go down to your happy neighborhood jousting arena, which are dotted all around the grid, including in the very Ferndale that we were speaking of, and on the Renaissance Island, of course. And you can then joust other opponents, live opponents that
Right.
the game generally will keep track of your hits and your score, sometimes on a scoreboard and so forth. So
Well, there's not that much of a scoreboard, basically. Most jousts are hosted by a joust host who happens to own the land that the list
Right.
is on, and they will announce the scores. The one thing that you do have to remember, though, is you have to be in run mode when you're riding your horse, and you have to make sure the horse is capable of being able to put the lance in proper position. There are some horses where in the menu of them you have to click that option to get them to work, and I don't know about other horses because I favor AKK horses.
me too. They're probably the best on the grid.
Yes, I think so. Also, but other horses, I don't know. It just depends on what you have and what you're familiar with.
Well, my point is that anybody can do this. I mean, it does take a little
Oh,
bit of
yes.
skill, almost like video gaming skill. You don't have to be a real-life jouster to be able to be good
No.
at this, but
No.
certainly the role-play aspect helps if you play a character and all that. But anybody, literally anybody, can do this if they want to buy the equipment. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Anybody can do it. If you know somebody who jousts, you can ask them to help them. There's a ton of groups out there. Some I don't know how active some of them are, but there's about 3 or 4 or 5 that are pretty active. They send a lot of jousters, or practically in all of them, to send notices.
And as somebody that's done it in the past, I know that it's terribly addictive. You do it a few times, and if you get a victory, you just got to go back and do it again.
Yes.
I haven't jousted myself in a long time just because of my crazy schedule, but there for a while we were jousting almost every weekend. We had a group of about 6-7 people, and we had a blast. So, my suggestion, audience, is get some of your friends, get a horse, get some jousting gear, get down to Ferndale, and use the court. It's free to use.
And
Yes,
you don't
it
need a
is.
box that gets to the best. I mean, even the mid-range stuff works
Right.
just as well.
Right. If you don't want to, if you don't know if you want to, though, in the area where the medieval designs list is in Ferndale, there is a box with a demo lance in it. It has 100 hits in it, so after 100 hits, you won't have a lance anymore, but it will give you an idea of how to work with a lance before you can go and look around and see what kind of lance you really want to get. The demo lance is by Callie Noller, and it's a pretty, it looks like a giant toothpick, but it's a demo lance. It's a demo lance, but it does the same job. And I can put out a dummy target. Oh, I don't even know if it will work on that. It might.
Just call up Zoltan. Now, does one always have to ride a horse, though?
Yes. The only exception is my SL daughter, Anway. She's a centaur, so she doesn't need a horse.
So she rides herself. Oh,
Yeah, she's taken second place in a couple of jousts.
I could go down so many roads about that right now.
But we're not
going
to.
I'm
In fact,
a
we
bigger man
need
for
to
once.
draw this. We need to draw this to a close before Lionheart gets crazy. But is there anything else you would like to mention, promote, or anything that you would like us to tell the audience, Amza?
Well, like I said, we're celebrating Renaissance Island's 8th anniversary, and if you would like to come out, just type Renaissance Island in the world map and drop in. There are signs around in the tilt yard, around the Merchants Row. Just touch the sign to get a full schedule of the events coming up.
In fact, our next show on June, which was scheduled for June 17th, is actually going to be on the 18th this week. If you are next week, if you want to catch the show live, come the Thursday, the 18th of June. But anyways, we have a gentleman that's kind of in charge of that whole.
Lady, actually.
Oh, lady. I'm sorry.
Lady.
Yeah.
Nice lady.
Corrigan Keynes. Yes, she'll be.
How did I possibly know that was a lady?
That's a lady's name.
Corrigan?
Yes.
Oh,
Corrigan's a lady's name.
okay. Like you know.
I do.
Anyways, Amza, you better get out of here before Lionheart gets belted and you're in between. So thank you very, very much for coming on and telling us about jousting. And we will look forward to seeing you, I believe, next week with Corrigan.
Yes.
I should say.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Like you know, Corrigan. Corrigan is a lady's name.
I want to get close to you because we were so far away there for a little while.
Get away from me, you weird drunk. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to our show tonight. Look at the show, of course, is being taped in Second Life in Floriance. Come to Second Life, join, and come down to a studio taping. Also, catch us on live stream, which may shortly be changing to another server, but for now, look for live stream every other Wednesday. And finally, the show will appear on YouTube in about a day, maybe less, depends on how Florian does with the tape, sending it to me. Usually I've been getting it on Thursday morning, so it's up by Thursday night. So that's pretty doggone good, if you ask me. Anyways, we hope that you will catch us on our next show, and for now, you all have a great week, and good night. See you in the movies.
Love you, bye-bye now.